Okay, UEFA has decided to postpone Euro 2020 until next summer. While it's not the most popular decision with all fans, it is, in my view, the right decision, if not a popular one. It allows UEFA and the domestic FA's flexibility in how to finish this current season, if at all. And it also allows UEFA and the various domestic leagues to look at next season's fixtures, because the earliest opportunity I think we're going to see European football again is not until I think May, June time for domestic leagues to start playing football. And I'm going by what the NBA and NHL in North America are going by, where they're asking for arena availability up to the end of July, possibly beginning of August, which is roughly about 16 weeks. And we know that France has just gone into a full national state of emergency. Spain and Italy already are in a state of emergency, and the earliest the Italians will come out of this state of emergency they're currently in is April the 3rd. That's looking likely to be extended by the Italian government. The UK is on the verge of heading into a state of emergency. We haven't seen things like this since the Second World War, with curfews and blackouts and all this kind of stuff, and restrictions on civil liberties for a temporary period. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but this decision does give UEFA and the domestic FAs a lot of flexibility. And this comes after the Italian FA publicly said in a press conference that they wanted to complete the domestic season as soon as they could, and they were looking at all feasibilities and all options and the logistics behind that. And in order to do that, they said that UEFA would have to postpone the tournament. Now, there were very limited options when they could postpone it to. They could postpone it to August, when the European seasons restart again. Generally speaking, if there was no logistical nightmare that we're seeing, between October and December, a period in that time, a 4-week period within that period of time, which again would affect next season. They play it next summer in the same slot, which is normally when the Confederations Cup would be played, but because it's in Qatar, they're going to play that later anyway, or they cancel it altogether. And the financial implications of cancelling altogether was made that option, down the list. The other two options were more disruptive, so it's the least bad option. Is the best way to describe playing it next year. It's also the right decision. We do not know for definite when normality will resume, when these state of emergencies that have been declared across Europe are going to be lifted. And if we're going by what the NBA and NHL are saying in North America, they're looking at arena availability to July, possibly beginning of August, when they can complete their seasons and post-seasons. So that gives you an idea of what's going on. They have a similar amount of league games left, and then they have their playoffs, which is very similar to having Champions League and FA Cups and League Cups in there as well, if you get what I'm saying, with the amount of games that are got to be played. So if they're asking for arena availability until mid to late July, possibly early August, that gives you a rough idea of when we could see league seasons completed across Europe, depending on how bad the outbreaks have been across Europe and when various curfews or states of emergency or containment zones are lifted. And next season could be a very condensed, restricted season with no cup competitions, be it domestic or European, which will be a massive financial hit on football across Europe. It will be. Clubs will struggle, and UEFA may have to step in financially to absorb some of that burden. Also, the media companies who hold the rights to broadcast games are putting pressure on the leagues to complete by July. But looking at how things are going globally, and with Italy being a country that we know the state of emergency is provisionally going to be lifted on the April the 3rd at the earliest, with a high chance of it being extended. It's going to be interesting to see when the regular seasons are completed this year. But yes, we've got to wait another 12 months for international tournament football to be played, which is a shame, but it is the right decision. But place your thoughts below. Do you think UEFA have acted correctly? Do you think the league season should have been suspended earlier? And the various civil restrictions that governments have put in place, should they have been put in earlier, like January, for example? Could that have avoided a lot of these, consequences right now, where countries are basically on complete utter shutdown? Businesses going under, people are losing their jobs, people are losing their lives. That's another interesting point. But place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.